Well, howdy y'all. Uber on Christmas Day. Uber on Christmas Day. I only done 3 trips today. I told myself that I was going to take it easy today, because it's Christmas and the least I could do is take it easy on myself. Working Uber full time, I make no money but Uber, and when it comes to all your bills, I'm fine. It's just the rent that bothers me. It's the rent that scares me. So tomorrow when I step out, I will be really trying to keep up with that 200 a day deadline. 200 a day. I wanted to make a right. I can't. The medial strip's in the way. Okay. I guess I got to go way down here to turn around. Okay. Excuse my coughing. I know it sounds nasty. I just had 2 colds. I've just gotten over the last part of my cold, which was diarrhea. That was the end. That's where I excreted the whole thing out of my system. And that lasted overnight, and it was a mess. But I'm healed now. I'm done. I just got this cough left. This is the aftermath of the cold, the second time. It always ends with a cough. The cough is the last thing that goes. It just won't go away. I coughed so hard earlier today, I thought the cough got stuck in my throat and I wasn't able to breathe. That's how bad it was. I've been taking, not only, you can't just take regular Dayquil when you have a bad cough. You have to take something for the flu, and then you have to take the mucus stuff too, because if you don't, that mucus ain't going nowhere. You can spit it out all you want to. It's going to keep on forming within seconds. Every time you cough, it forms back up. But I'm taking a mucus reliever. I'm done with the Dayquil because the cold's over. It's the mucus that I got to worry about now. But anyway, I don't know if I want to do another trip or not, but this will be real quick and short and sweet. I just got done at Denny's. The service there, I was a little disappointed. I wasn't pissed off, but a little disappointed because the table wasn't prepared when I sat down at it. And I know, and the one that I go to, the one by my house, didn't get as busy as the one that's, on the other side. There's a Denny's directly on the other side of the mall from my house. I'm on the Lebanon Church side. The 51 side, there's another one a little further down. And it's a real nice one too. I've eaten at both of these. This is my second time eating at this one by my house. Last time I ate there, I ate breakfast, and my waitress was nice, but she didn't understand that the table wasn't prepared, and the girl that was dressed up as Santa Claus, when she came to walk me to my table, she slammed the menu down on a table to let me know which table it was. I'm thinking, what kind of attitude? What's up with her? Okay. But then what really bugged me was the plastic. Like, why am I eating out of plasticware? Okay. I told the one lady. Now, I did accidentally say plastic, but I didn't mean for her to actually give me plastic to eat with. I'm in a restaurant. This is Denny's. This is not, takeout. Your plastic and your napkins inside plastic, that's for takeout. But they had me eat out of plastic. I ate my whole meal out of plastic. My knife, was nice and sharp. It was made out of metal and wood. Thank God for that much. But to the most part, I ate everything else out of plastic. Plastic fork, plastic spoon, and I'm thinking, what is going on here? To me, that's disrespectful. Why would you have me eat out of plastic? I'm eating at a medium level restaurant. Why are you making me eat out of plastic? Why am I eating with plastic for takeout, for the takeout menu? And my waitress was a nice girl, but when I asked for my dessert, she gave me a plastic spoon. And the other lady that brought my food, she kind of just grabbed plastic off the counter and gave it to me. And I'm thinking, okay, I could have complained and said, why plastic? But I didn't want to be rude. I didn't want to give them, maybe they're having a bad day. I didn't want to put them in a worse mood. It's busy, it's Christmas. They should be, maybe they want to be at home with their families. My family don't pay me that much attention, so I don't let it bother me. If my family was concerned about me on Christmas, I wouldn't be doing this video. I'd be over one of their homes, okay? But whatever. Everybody's grown. Everybody's happy. That's all I care about. You don't have to invite me over for Christmas. You don't have to. I do have some gifts at home for some of my family members. I have to get more for others still yet. Plus accessories to the ones I have. But I ain't tripping. I ain't hating. You know what I'm saying? To me, Jesus is the reason for the season. It's not about how much presents you can give each one of your kids or your wife or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. I was going to sit home and, I was just going to go and grab me something from the store and take it home on Christmas Day. Whatever's open, just grab me some soup or make me some soup or something for my cough. I was going to cook me a little small dinner, maybe bake me some chicken or something, and save money. But my customers, 2 of them, I didn't know that Denny's went up on their price, but my customers paid for my meal. And I have the money to pay for my meal myself on my Uber Pro card, but they gave me cash tips. One gave me a $10 tip and the other one gave me a $20 tip yesterday. Today I received a $10 tip, and I probably still received an online tip from the same woman. I took her all the way out. I live near Elizabeth, but I took her all the way from somewhere else further down in Pittsburgh, I forget where, one of them little Duchy neighborhoods, and brought her to Elizabeth for her to spend with her family. And all the people, well, 2 of the people, I think I did 3 trips. One of the dudes was going to work. The one dude that I picked up, he was on his way to work. The 2 women that I picked up, they were going, there was a couple, or a man and his wife. And they were a lot of fun because we talked politics the whole way in. And I took them, all these trips were large trips. And the one guy that I picked up, I took a guy to the airport. That was the third trip. That was the second trip, actually. I took this guy to the airport. So actually, I did 4 trips. I took this guy to the airport. I don't know what his race was. He looks black, but he's got an accent. I don't know what his race is. He might be Nairobi. I don't think. His accent was a little bit more. Here's a woman getting in an Uber right in front of me. We're talking about Uber. This woman's getting in an Uber right in front of me. And I guess she okay. Yeah, just go around. It's like I could have went around her, but I was trying to be a gentleman. Okay, whatever, dude. Okay. Anyway, the sun came out around noontime, about 1 o'clock, about 1 o'clock. The sun came out. Beautiful, beautiful. The sun's out right now, as you can see it, bouncing off of me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Back in the day, we used to love to have white Christmases. Now we just want the sun. We're glad because of global warming or whatever, because times have changed. We're just glad if we have a beautiful sunny day on Christmas. Most people, like this old lady, me and her was around the same age, like she was saying with me, we're glad if we can have a sunny day today. Back in the day when our grandparents were, doing Christmas every Christmas, okay, we were glad to have a white Christmas. But now, we are glad to have a sunny day on Christmas. Okay? And that's the way. Speaking of Elizabeth, I just turned around, right back around to it. and I'm basically doing a U-turn because I'm going the same way that I came home. I'm doing it all over again from Elizabeth. That's how I, like I said, I live near Elizabeth, so Elizabeth's down the road from me. I just did it again. But what was beautiful about this, about driving for Uber, is that they were charging people more for Christmas, because, and one of my customers asked me, it was the guy I took to the airport. He asked me, he says, man, it's pricey. I'm thinking, dude, you're going to the airport. Why wouldn't that be pricey? But I got to admit, I've taken people to the airport for less. All my trips today, I think there was 4 of them to be total. All of them but one was over $30 a piece. Okay? Yeah, they were all $30, 31, 32 point something. One was like $21 point something. So all of my trips have been good trips today. And I did 4 of them. I think I did one. Yeah, even that one was like 20 some dollars or something. I don't think I did a trip today for under $20. And they're charging for Christmas, and what's good about it is they're charging for us, the drivers, because especially being I did the long trips today too. Now usually Uber would pay me less for what I did today, but but they paid me today what I would recommend that they pay me. You know what I'm saying? You're taking me, I'm going on a 45-minute trip to take this woman, to bring this woman to Elizabeth. At least give me $30. They gave me 31, 32, I think it was $32 and something to take this woman for a 45-minute trip. That's not bad, okay? I did all 4 trips before I, and my tank wasn't full when I did the 4 trips, and all these trips were far. But I had a quarter of a tank left when I went to get gas, and they closed down some gas stations today for the holiday, like Gitgo in certain places. If you are in an area where you have a small Gitgo that's connected to a Giant Eagle, if they close Giant Eagle, they're going to close the Gitgo too. Now, the Gitgo where I live, Giant Eagle's up the street, so they left that Gitgo open, but Giant Eagle up the street is closed. So praise the Lord for that. I got my gas at a BP station. The BP station was open, and the gas price was pretty low there for the holiday. And I went to the BP station in Elizabeth. I've never stopped to get gas in Elizabeth. There was nobody at that BP station. I don't know if anybody was inside or not. There was a man and his wife sitting outside in the Jeep, and I don't know if they tried to get in and the store was closed or whatever. But the place was dead and nobody was there but me. They left. As soon as they saw me, they left. That kind of made me nervous. But, I'm looking in the windows of the store. I don't see anybody. It's kind of tinted. I don't know if anybody was there or not, but at least the gas station part of it was open. You can get gas as long as your car works or whatever, But I just wanted to say that managing your money, sometimes you got to consider the gas that you're going to put into, so you're always going to do more trips than what you need. And I don't know if you're like me, but I have a habit of having to I've gotten into the habit of counting my trips, the money that I'm making on my trips. And if I'm trying to pay a bill, then, I'm going to make, like if I stop and get gas, I don't want that to fall into my bill money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another trip or two to make up for that gas. If you see what I'm saying. If I stop at the store, I got to stop at Walmart. I need toilet paper. I need paper towels. I need some meat. I need some vegetables or whatever, medicine, whatever. Okay? And I never shop. Like lately, since I've been doing Uber again, I haven't been shopping weekly or monthly. I've been shopping like daily, like whatever I need that day, or whatever I need for the next couple of days, I'll go and grab it. Okay. If I do that, everything I do, and this is a lesson for you, everything I do, I can make it up in trips. Okay, everything I do, I can make it up in trips. Okay, so if I stop at Walmart, I'm going to do 2 trips to cover what I spent at Walmart. If I go get gas, I'm going to do a trip or 2 to cover for that gas. Okay, and sometimes if I'm trying to pay a bill that needs to come out tonight, I might not put a full tank of gas in there. I'm only going to do what? I'm going to be out here doing trips for what? Another half an hour or less? Okay, so I'm not going to go get a full tank of gas. I might put $10 or $20 in the tank so that, that doesn't interfere with that bill that has to come out tonight, And so I've been doing that. Now, yes, you're absolutely right. I know what you're thinking. Well, you should be doing enough trips and you should be separating your money. And yes, I'm doing that too. I'm going to be doing that. I need to get me a new debit card. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to just open up a bank account. I think I'm going to open up a bank account and put some money in a bank. Matter of fact, I have a check that has to be cashed. So what I'm going to do, it's a $4 check. Somebody sent me a $4 check of some kind of loan that came back from some loan that I once had or something. So I was overcharged or something. So I'm going to take that check. It's only $4, but I'm going to take that, and I'm going to open up a bank account, and some more money as well. But I need the bank now to cash that check. So I'll take that check somewhere this week and open up a bank account somewhere. I'm in Elizabeth. I'm in the same place I took that woman. I thought that I'm going exactly where I took that woman. I don't want to go all the way down here. Then again, I can go all the way down here. I don't care while I'm talking, because there's a bridge coming up. I can cross that bridge down there. No big deal. Take me to the other side. But anyway, all I want to say today is that you know, if you're doing this for a living, you know what I'm saying, you're working the clock, and you can select your hours according to whatever neighborhood, city, and state you live in, and what kind of people you're dealing with. The problem with Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh has what I call a lot of douchey neighborhoods. And they're not all ghettos, but some of them, it is douchey. Like, you know, there's a lot of dead-end streets, one-way streets, jacked up roads, potholes, you know what I'm saying, tight streets where you can't get a car through, and then you're supposed to get 2 cars through, you can barely get 1, you know. Which one's the bridge? This one's the bridge. Okay, here we go, crossing the bridge. Oh yeah, this is what I did. That's that, you know. Excuse me, I'm trying to see the signs here. Okay. East Pittsburgh. Well, I'll go to East Pittsburgh. I don't want to go to McKeesport. Because I might turn the app and do one more trip today, since I'm out here wasting gas. See what I mean? Because I'm doing this video and I'm out here wasting gas, I might do one more trip before I tune it in. I promised myself that I'd be home before 4 o'clock and take it easy on myself today. I think I'm going to keep that promise. Even though it's beautiful and sunny out here, it's 48 degrees. Oh my God, it's a good moment to drive. But I don't want to be out here, you know, it's going to get dark. It's going to get dark. This beautiful sunshine is going to end soon. And it's going to get dark out here. I don't want to be here. And I've been driving up until 7 o'clock for the last over a week, trying to get these bills paid. I've been getting them paid, but I've been driving past 7 o'clock. And I don't like that. I like to be home like I'm going to do today. I like to do my trips early and be home before it gets dark out. And it gets dark out around 4 o'clock out here. So, with, you know, the winter season. So, but Speedway is open. Just rode past Speedway. There's another Gecko up here. I keep forgetting there's one out here. So East Pittsburgh and East McKeesport is the same thing. Okay, yeah, it is the same thing. But I did enjoy myself at Denny's. Eaton Park was closed. Eaton Park has things that Denny's don't have, like hot apple pie a la mode for dessert. And I made sure I got dessert thanks to the 2 people that tipped me. And I didn't know that. I thought I was going to go in there and get everything for like $17. No, it cost me $23 total. So with them people, with these 2 ladies giving me, you know, altogether a $30 tip, it was perfect. I was able to go in there and pay cash to buy myself a good Christmas dinner And still give the waitress a $3 tip. I'd have gave the waitress a $5 tip. She was very nice. I just didn't appreciate the plastic. I'm like, what is this, a joke? Why am I eating out of plastic? I'm not taking out. I'm eating here in the restaurant. Why am I eating out of plastic spoons and forks? I don't understand this. Are you being rude and lazy, or what's going on? So that's why I only gave her a $3 tip. But I'm not one of them people not to tip. Okay? They expect you to tip, I tip. You know, if I can't tip, I can't eat there. You know, I'm not going to go somewhere and eat there if I can't keep up with everybody else. You know what I mean? I'll just go to McDonald's where I ain't got to tip. You know, I mean, if I'm going to eat in a classy place, I'm going to tip. Okay, that's the way it is. You know, you going to make this turn, or what you going to do, man? But, the country fried steak was nice and soft. Wasn't very juicy. I like a little bit juicier. But it was nice. It was well cooked and soft. And it was easy to cut. And even with that plastic fork, it was very soft and tender. The broccoli was really dry, but it was well cooked. It wasn't hard. Like a lot of times when they steam your broccoli, they make it hard. You're feeling like you didn't do nothing but put hot water on this broccoli, as hard as a rock. You know what I mean? I could just go to Walmart and get me some hard broccoli and rinse it and eat it. But they actually cooked this broccoli. It was nice and soft and tender. And but it was dry. The food was dry, but it was delicious. It was dry, but it was soft and tender at the same time. I like a little wee bit more juiciness with my meal. I like that plate to be wet when I eat off of it. You know, I like the food to wet in the plate a little bit. You know what I mean? The coffee, it was good. The coffee was good. And I can feel it right here. You know, 2 cups of coffee. I can feel it right here. So it was fresh coffee, that's for sure. I'm not complaining. I think I had a great time all by my lonesome at Denny's, spending money from the tips that, but they did tell me, they says, hey, maybe you can buy yourself a dinner. They heard that I'm going to be spending Christmas alone like I always do. And, I'm going to be out here instead of taking Christmas off. And I told him, I says, I'm probably just going to go get me something to eat and give myself, a quick day. I'm probably only going to be out half a day or whatever. They said, well, here, maybe you can take this and get yourself something good to eat, And I said, we don't have to do that. I have the money to feed myself if I choose to do so, if that's what I want to do. He says, no. Merry Christmas. I says, okay. So, $30 in tips between today and yesterday. Bought my Christmas dinner at Denny's. And a lot of times, here's the con, a lot of times Uber will charge you, not charge you, but pay you little, and this is a con, they'll pay you little to do trips that are far out. Like today I received full price to take a person to the airport. And the beautiful thing about it was that because it's Christmas, it's like working on a Sunday. There wasn't too many people out. There's not too many people out right now as I speak. It's really, 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 everywhere I've been so far, the traffic has been down to a minimum. And it's been a beautiful day, even on the Parkway, the biggest expressway here in Pittsburgh, the one that everybody hates like with a passion. But everybody got to get on it. It was easy. I took this person all the way to the airport on the Parkway. It was beautiful, and every trip that I did was extra. They gave me full price because it's Christmas, and they're charging the customer more, so you're getting paid more because it's Christmas. And when people were complaining about how pricey it was, well, only one complained about how pricey it was. The others understood why it's more, and they felt it was fair, and they gave me a tip on top of saying that would be fair for them to charge a little bit more, being it's Christmas. They still gave me a tip, you know. So again, you know, you can do this for a living, but you know, understand that you have to know how to give yourself a break. Sometimes you have to just take the day off, or sometimes you have to start later or start early and come home early. Sometimes you just have to, and what I love mainly about Uber is, like, I don't have to be in the city of Pittsburgh and dealing with these douchey neighborhoods. And people say, well, how'd you get out here? I said, I wasn't in the mood for these douchey neighborhoods today. I'm sorry. I couldn't do these douchey neighborhoods today. Yesterday, when I started my Uber trips, they took me to one douchey neighborhood, and then they just started taking me to every douchey neighborhood right next door to it. And after going through what I went through the other night, I said, no, I'm not. Uber took me down an alleyway that had no opening. It took me to a dead-end alleyway. It took me almost 20 minutes to get out of that alleyway. I tried everything I could to turn that car around, this SUV, and it just wasn't happening. Finally, I backed all the way out, and the poor customer girl, she tried to help me, you know, back out of there, but I went all the way in there, and there was no outlet. They you know, they took me to a dead end, and for that reason, I don't do alleyways anymore. I won't be doing alleyways anymore, especially in these douchey neighborhoods. I won't do alleyways anymore. What I'll do is I'll ask the customer, you know, where are you going? Like, can we get there from town, or what's going on? Because I'm not going through all these alleyways. Last time I got in these alleyways, they took me to a dead end, and I got stuck on a one-way street. Couldn't get out of there. I had to back out. The street was so tight, and the cars were parked like, you know, no, not doing that again. So that's how that went. This is a good place right here to turn my app on. I'm out here near Emsworth and Sewickley. Good place to turn my app on. And I will in a minute. But in closing, the con is sometimes you might get paid $9 to go somewhere, and later on today you might get paid $13 to go to the same exact place, you know. And they do things like, you know, send you to the airport. And now today, because they paid me full price, they let me know that I was going to the airport. It hardly ever says United Airlines. It just tells me, it doesn't even say Robinson Township or anything that gives me a clue that I'm going to the airport. it just says, oh, such and such expressway or something like that, something street, and it doesn't, unless you know the airport like the back of your hand, you do not know that they're sending you to the airport for less money. You don't know. And I've taken people to the airport for as low as like $10, and didn't realize that they were going, that I was taking this person to the airport, so I actually picked this person up. I'm thinking $10. Oh, I'm taking him a little ways out of the way, out of his area to another area, and here I find out I'm taking this person to the airport. You know, but today I got $30 some dollars to take this person to the airport. Now imagine, there's times I've taken people to the airport for $17, $27, and $10. Okay? That's a big difference between, you know. Now, I probably won't see any $30 trips tomorrow unless I'm taking somebody at least for a whole total hour. Out of the area. But there you have it. There are some pros and cons to being an Uber driver, and there's some pros and cons. But you gotta appreciate your pros, though. I come from a long line of jobs where there's always BS. There's always some BS. There's always some unfairness going on. So, Uber charging me less than what they should be paying me for certain trips, not letting me know where I'm going and why the trip costs so low or costs so high. They're not letting me know what I got to go through, what I'm getting myself into. All the better reason, more reason why it's good that I'm using a rental instead of my own vehicle, because I never know what I'm getting myself into. And this is not Emsworth. This is Ardmore Boulevard. I'm on my way to Wilkinsburg is what I'm on my way to. This is Ardmore Boulevard. But anyway, yep, there's Wilkinsburg. There's the exit for Wilkinsburg right there. I ain't going there. I'm going to Monroeville. There's an exit to Monroeville out here. But that's it. That's all I want to talk about, folks. Just want to give honor and glory to God for this blessed day that I had, and the good trips that I had, and how easy they were. And I'm learning from my mistakes, and I'm learning how the Uber app works. The Uber app has a personality, okay? And you got to learn how to work around that personality. You know what I'm saying? The Uber app has a personality. You got to learn how to work around that personality. Because if you don't, the Uber app will really frustrate you and upset you, and you'll be ready to take your phone and break a window with it, throw it through a window, okay? Because it really, 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 really can be a pain in the butt, okay? It really can, especially when the Uber app is just as confused about riding around Pittsburgh as you are, okay? it oh my goodness, help me. It's something, it's crazy, but that's the con. And And there was something else I wanted to say. I can't think about it. I can't think of it. There's something I wanted to say. But I like this. I love this, especially, when it's nice out, especially in the summertime. I love being on the road. I love doing this. That's why I'm out here. And, people get in my car all the time complaining about their job and, complaining about Walmart. And I'm like, yeah, I just quit that job, And they say, how'd you quit? I says, I cashed. When my Walmart check came in, I went and picked up the car. Went down to Hertz, picked up the car, picked up my reservation. It's that simple. They thought I was bluffing. They thought I was bluffing at Walmart when I kept telling them, any day now I'm going to be out of here. And they're like, you ain't going nowhere. I said, I says, I'm about to go pick up the vehicle. My Chariot is waiting. I'm about to go pick up my Chariot. And it is a Chariot because I'm living my life. I'm paying my bills from this Chariot. I'm hitting two birds with one stone. I have a vehicle to get around in and to travel in. And I also, and my vehicle is my work. This is the work that I do. People say, what do you do for a living? I said, you're looking at it. You're sitting in it. Oh, you do this for a living? Yeah. Right now, anyway. Yeah. Until it becomes difficult. Yeah. Until it becomes something I don't want to do no more. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And they're like, well, you get to do this and you get to pick your hours. I said, yes, I do. I get to pick what hours I want to work. My golly, I even get to pick where I want to do my trips. Okay? And they're like, well, I usually have trouble getting an Uber out here. I says, yeah, you didn't have trouble getting an Uber today because I happened to be in town. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Yesterday, they had me go from, I was in Katanning because I went out to New Kensington, and I got out to New Kensington, Pennsylvania. Katanning's about a half an hour up the street. There was no trips in New Kensington for about 5 minutes. So I said, you know what, I'm going to keep on going. So I started going further into Westmoreland County. I went up to Katanning. As soon as I got in Katanning, I got to the States Building. Big old States Building flag sticking out of it, real beautiful. Okay, I got up there and turned the app back on. They sent me all the way to Vandergrift to pick this dude up. The Uber app sent me a notice on my way saying, oh, if you don't get here at a certain time, you may lose this reservation. And I'm like, what? What do you okay. When I met the guy, he's not even from around here. He's from out of state. He knew that ain't no way you was going to get from Katanning to Vandergrift in less than 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes, if not more. There's no way. But Uber thought that I should have been able to get out there in sooner time. First of all, you took me through the back roads instead of the expressway. If you had took me on the expressway and sent me down 422 or 28, the speed limit would have been like 55. But no, you sent me the back way, which means that the speed limit's between 35 and 40. Okay? What was you expecting? And you had me doing all this twisting and turning, left and right, going down all these little country roads. Well, we could have just took the expressway one shot. We could have got back on 28 and went to Vandergrift. Okay, and got off somewhere, went up or down, got off, and then went through one area to get in the Vandegrift. Okay? But the Uber app didn't know how to do that, so they're going to blame me. Like I'm not keeping up my timing with these trips. You know. And then a lot of times the Uber app, if I leave a parking lot, there's no GPS in that parking lot for the Uber app. Until I get out of the parking lot and start going down the expressway, then the Uber app catches up. Now, Google app and Waze are faster at this. Google and Waze has more tracking when you're in a parking lot than Uber does. Okay? They also catch up faster if you go the wrong way. If you go east instead of west, vice versa, they catch up quicker to get you to turn around and go the right way. Uber app will freeze up if you go the wrong way. It'll freeze up and you'll be out of your way before they finally say, hey, you need to turn around. And instead of turning you around, and this is one of the things you gotta learn how to do. I've gotten off the highway, and if there's no strip in between me and the other side of the highway, I've gotten off the highway and turned around and went the right way if I missed a turn or something. Because if you miss that turn, Uber will have you go clear across town, and make you go through a bunch of lefts and rights to get back to where you're supposed to be. Then they'll send you a notice complaining about the time that you're taking to get there, when all they had to do was say, hey, turn around. You could pull over in this Sheetz right here, or this Red Lobster right here. Just pull into the parking lot and turn around. No, Uber app doesn't do that. They'll take you clear, you know, whereas the Waze app will say, oh, go up to your right and make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. I get tired of hearing that, but hey, that's better than directing me to go all the way clear across town. This is the biggest con that, oh my God, it just drives me nuts. And I get tired of apologizing to my customers, I made a wrong turn, and Uber took me clear across town just to what? Get me back here. Like, huh? You know, I didn't even know I missed a turn until, you know, I'm like, are you turning me around way up here? I could have turned around in the parking lot. I just passed a dozen parking lots. I could have turned around and went the right way. But no, the Uber app kept going and then blamed me for it. You know? So that's a big con. Con I'm really sick of. Like, I don't know. Like, most of the time when I take somebody and drop them off at like a store, whether it be Walmart or whatever, maybe they have a double stop or whatever. If I drop them off to go to the next pickup, okay, I'm going to I ain't going to no Murraysville. I'm going to go back the way I came in. Well, a lot of times your pickup is not going back the way you came in. And what does Uber do? They get lost because you decide to go back out the way you came in. Instead of, you know, now sometimes they're good. They'll say, go up to such and such and make a right. They'll show you on the map where they're giving you a complete square. You're going to do a complete square, and that's going to turn you around to take you back that way. And it's only, what, seconds. But most of the time, oh my God, I can't take it anymore, you know, how they do that, you know. And so a lot of times I ask the customer, I say, should we be going this way or that way? Do you know? If you don't know, that's fine. The Uber app will redirect me. Okay. And a lot of times I have to think, is she turning me around or why is she freezing up? Okay. And I don't know. Like, Uber does that a lot. You come out of a parking lot, they get confused. You know, like you go, they show you how to get into the parking lot, but they can't show you how to get out. And it's that way a lot here in Pittsburgh. It really is. So, those are the cons that I've had to go through all this week like crazy. But the pros are, you know, how they hook me up for Christmas. The pros are, you know, if you can ride to good neighborhoods and be around, you know, you're going to have like some douchey neighborhoods, you know what I mean, if you're in the inner cities, and you're going to have some douchey people. And there's people that get in your car, and I got to tell them, like, you ain't got no headphones, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't bring your own entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I know you want to, I know we going on a 10, 20 minute trip. You need to entertain yourself, but turn that down. Like, I'm driving, man, and I got music playing. Like, don't be respectful because you're bored. You know, you don't like my music, so you're being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, don't be disrespectful. That's another con that, you know. But if you can be around, the good people never bring their own music. And the good people, you know, you can look in the mirror, in your rearview mirror, you'll see them back there with headphones on or whatever. You know, they got common sense. Like, oh, I'm not interested in talking to my Uber driver. I'm not interested in what he's listening to on his stereo or whatever. Okay, I'm going to bring headphones and watch YouTube while he's taking me 10, 20 minutes across town, whatever. That's fine. Okay, and I don't mind that. Okay, I don't care if you talk to me, have a conversation with me. All the good people do usually. They always want to conversate with the driver. I'm the same way. Like, I like to conversate with the driver. That's the way I am. I like to conversate with the driver. Okay? That makes me feel comfortable if I'm conversating with the driver. And it's the same way with driving myself. If I'm conversating with the rider. The other thing is, if there's two people in the vehicle, like a husband and wife, who's honking and why? I'm easing up on a red light. What is your problem? Like, oh, you want me to hurry up so you get, see? Now, that's not Uber's fault. That's jackasses, excuse my friends, jackasses on the road trying to rush you and stuff like that. That has nothing to do with Uber. But, you know, you out here enough, you're going to get a lot more of it. When you're out here, you know, when you're traveling once in a blue moon, you don't really have to worry about it. When you're out here every day and you're all over the place, like you are as an Uber driver, okay, you're going to get a lot of that, where people just randomly honking at you because they want you to go over the speed limit, or honking at you because, you know what I'm saying, you took too long, they want you to go through a stop sign. Well, wait a minute, I'm not going to jump out there and get hit. You know what I mean? I'm going to stop at the stop sign. I'm going to wait my turn. You got a stop sign there, and a stop sign there. All four of us got a stop sign. There's four of us. Not to mention others waiting behind us to get through that same stop sign. Okay, don't honk at me, man. You know what I mean? Trying to make me jump out there and get hit by, what, a four-man, you know, like, what? That's not Uber's fault. That's crap you're going to go through on the road. You know, my customers know. Like, we're in the car, and people just randomly honking at us. And I'm like, what? Okay, I'm going a little bit under the speed limit. Okay, maybe about, you know, a minute under the speed limit. Okay. How many lanes on this highway are there? Go freaking around me, you, ooh. You know what I mean? Like, go around me. But what I hate is when I'm trying to go to an exit, and exit is usually on the right, and there's some lowlife spinning around me to the right. I hate that. And so I gotta stop. I got this guy riding my tail because I'm not flying down the road like a maniac, so he's riding my tail. This guy come flying up trying to beat me into the exit. I got my turn signal on. He's still going to try to fly around me. And I go, you know, and he's right there, and that just like really, 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 really ticks me off. You know what I mean? Like, I hate when people come flying past me on the right while I got my turn signal on. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. But you're going to get a lot of that here in Pittsburgh. You're going to get a lot of that. So that's enough. Those are just some things to think about. I had something else that I wanted to mention too again, but whatever. Merry Christmas. I hope you had a safe Christmas. If you're an Uber driver like me, you had a safe Christmas. Leave it in the comments section if you worked on Christmas. If you did Uber trips today, Christmas 2025, if you did Uber trips today, let me know in the comments section. I want to know about it. I want you to tell me. Tell me if you did Uber trips today. Tell me. I want to know. Tell me. I want you to leave it in the comments section if you did Uber trips today. Let me know. And we'll talk more in the upcoming days, weeks, whatever. But I had a debt to pay again. It's my Uber. Now they didn't collect their money last night because of Christmas. You know, Hertz is closed. But I got more than enough money in there for them to get theirs. Their money has been sitting in an account for 24 hours and some. And now I'm working on my money as well as their money. I'm always working on the rental money. That's not going to go away. But I'm also working on my money. I got you know, rent at the end of this month. And I'm trying to get that up. I got, you know, what, 5 days, I got less than 10 days to come up with my $600 and some rent. You think I can do it plus the 400 and some that I'm paying for the rental? And by the way, the rental is only $260. It's the tax and the insurance that brings it to $434. So that's that. But it's real easy when they say 30 trips. It's real easy within 30 trips or less to come up with $434, depending on what kind of cash flow and timing you're putting in. You can do it in less than 30 trips. So, and I have. You know, I've done it in 24 trips. I've done it in 20. There you have it. So, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. We'll talk more in a couple of days or less. God bless. I'll keep you posted. Leave something in the comments section. Talk to me about these things that I just said.